These are the ProLight Mod Minis that provide some creative opportunities in the studio. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use them to create these portraits along with the FJ400 and the Flexi gels. Let's go ahead and cover todo el pedo. For the lighting, I was using 4 Westcott FJ400s as my background lights. Now, I was using 2 55-degree reflectors, which are your standard reflectors. Usually if you buy a light, a strobe, especially like Godox, by default, they sometimes come with this size. And I used 2 of those along with the big deep focus reflectors. Now, these deep focus reflectors, this one personally is my favorite ProLight Mod Mini. Now, I attached obviously the ProLight Mod Minis, and if you're curious on how these attach, they have this little elastic material that kind of stretches and goes around the reflectors. So if I add this on really quick, you'll see that I just simply add the elastic around it, and there we go. So now we have the ProLight Mod. Now, for this photo shoot, the person that I was going to be photographing, her name's Cameron. She is a professional singer. And so my goal here was to make it look like if she was in a concert and on a stage. Now, if you could support her, she does have some amazing songs on Spotify. I'll leave those linked in the description. But in order to add that beautiful color pop, because if you've seen my work, you know I love to include color in my work, I attached some Flexi gels along to the FJ400s. Now, what's cool about these Flexi gels is that they simply go over the flash dome of the FJ400, and easily I was able to get some beautiful color pop. So I went with the color scheme of purple and blue. Now, the common question might be, well, Eli, do I have to have a 400-watt strobe? Could I use speed lights? Could I use an FJ200 or a Godox 8200? Absolutely. The only thing that you might have to compensate is you might have to increase your ISO. So don't think that it has to be a 400-watt strobe. Once I had my background lights in place, I had to now add my key light to light up my subject. So I went with the Westcott Manny Ortiz Beauty Dish in butterfly light position so that I can get the catch lights in the upper middle part of the eye. Now, in order to do that, I used the Cambo Boom. Now, if you don't have a Cambo Boom, you can simply use a shorty extension arm to offset it, or you can also use a mini boom. And in order to keep the background dark, I used 2 X-Drop Pros, the 8x8s with the black backgrounds side by side to maintain that concert feel and vibe. For my camera gear, I was using the Canon R5 along with the Canon RF 85mm 1.2. Now, typically in the studio, if you've seen my work, you know that I love that 24-105. It never comes off my camera. And I'm usually using apertures like 7.1 or f11 in the studio. So it was a little bit different for me to use a shallow depth of field. And the reason for me using a shallow depth of field is that I wanted to try something different, but I wanted to draw all the attention towards camera, her being the singer, and we have this nice colorful background. I wanted her to pop from the scene. So my settings for these shots was aperture f2, ISO 50, and shutter speed 1/200th of a second. With my lighting and camera settings in place, the final touch was to add some atmospheric aerosol to add a little bit of depth to the photograph. Anytime you're using the ProLight mods, especially the minis, it's a nice idea to just add that nice depth. Now, I did get 2 series with this photo shoot, and I did 2 different color schemes. So one color scheme, I used the red and the orange in the background. And then I also used the blue and the purple. Let me know in the comments, out of curiosity, which is the color scheme that you guys prefer. One thing I do want to mention is James Kwans did ask me to do the photos for the packaging for the ProLight Mod Mini. So here in the front, you'll see one of the photos that I did with Savannah this day, which was very similar color scheme or concept that we did here with Cameron. And then in the back were some of the other photos that we created that day. So big thanks to James Kwans, but also everybody else that was here, from the models, from Cameron, Savannah, Daya, Roland for helping out, lending me his 85mm, Adrian for getting all the behind the scenes, Angel for helping out, and Gil, who did all of the makeup on this day. Now, if you guys enjoyed and loved this content and you're curious on how I edited the photographs or just want to see more of the behind the scenes, I'm going to leave you guys off with more content. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have a beautiful day. and I will see you on the next one.